Good afternoon, everyone. So, I did my topic on place-based education, but I'd like to explain a little bit more what that means before I go into my research topic. So, you've probably heard it before because it's also known as pedagogy of place, environmental education, experiential education, or service learning. So, it's essentially education based on local surroundings and community. It applies to history, environment, culture, economy, literature, and art of a particular place. So you can really use this in all subject areas in all grades. And I decided to ask myself, does place-based education improve non-cognitive and cognitive development? So I was interested in this topic because I've actually been doing environmental education for the past couple of years, and I have really seen students get so excited with all the projects that I've done with them, and I want it to be incorporated into more classrooms. So why use PBE, or place-based education? With a local focus, you're engaging students academically, and students feel that school has real-world relevance. So how many of you have ever been in school and thought, I'm never going to use this in real life? A lot of people. So don't be that teacher. Be the teacher that gets your kids involved and takes them outside and says, this is how you're going to use this in the real world. I'm not just teaching you this for useless information. So that's essentially what place-based education is. It's creating a community involvement with those students and giving them empowerment. So if you're taking them outside and they're volunteering in their local community, they're making a difference. They can see it, they can see the difference happening. You're not talking about some disaster on the other side of the world that they feel they can't do anything about. So they're becoming excited that they can do these things. For example, I'll go to my next slide. The research articles I chose one by David Sobel, Sense of Place Education for the Elementary Years. And I chose David because I actually met him in one of my jobs when I worked in New Hampshire, and he's one of these people that's trying to encourage more teachers to use place-based education, and he has really great ideas. So I wanted to start off with an article by him. And he really encourages elementary school teachers to use this because that's when these kids are still going outside and they're, looking through forests and picking up dirt and still getting their hands dirty. So he focused more on that. Whereas Gregory Smith, in his article, Place-Based Education, he focused more on how to use it through K through 12. So older kids, how to use it that way. But both articles agreed that place-based education helped children develop non-cognitive skills such as grit and perseverance. So that leads to more success academically, kind of agreeing back to my research question. And some of those examples were a biology class in Maine where students regularly tested water samples off the coast to detect waterborne pathogens. So that's a really cool example of how you can do that in your high school biology class to get those kids more involved, and they get to go outside and be excited about it. Whereas even 5th graders can install new playground equipment at their school by talking to the county park commissioner. And I had experience working with 4th graders, and they built their own outdoor classrooms, which was really fun. And we used like old trees, and they got to make their own signs about like birds and trees in the areas, and they really liked that. So that also relates to our educational theories that everybody's been talking about. I think with the younger kids, Piaget, self-exploration and discovery, that's when you're letting them have free play and they're going outside and they're feeling the dirt and they're experiencing those things that they can't do inside of the classroom. So I'd like to read you one quote actually from an article. This is from a young girl who is creating a sound map, which is where you just listen and record what you hear outside. Bees buzzing, wind blowing, airplane throbbing, cow mooing very loud, sore throats, water rippling, very gently telling secrets. So you can see how these kids are being so creative while they're outside and they're using all their senses and getting to do just different activities than they would normally. But as they get older, I think Vygotsky might come into more play because they're going to need that instruction when they're going outside and they're trying to do that water testing and things like that. But regardless, they're all helping with that self-efficacy, non-cognitive, and cognitive development. So I want to encourage all of you to be place-based education leaders in your classroom and get your students involved. And I hope to do that as well. Looking forward to hopefully teaching 6th grade and maybe creating our outdoor learning space and just seeing how they can relate the material we learn inside to their lives outside of classroom so they feel they can make a difference. Thank you.